What's good? Welcome back to another video. Today is the day we see which two teams are headed to the Super Bowl for the 2025 and 26 season. Giving you a breakdown on both games. First game is at 3 o'clock. We got the New England Patriots going into the Denver Broncos. And at 6:30, we have the LA Rams going into the number 1 seed, Seattle Seahawks. Jumping right into it for the first game, we have Denver and the Patriots. Should be an absolute banger. Although last week, the big news, no Bo Nix. He did break his ankle, which is unfortunate because Denver had a phenomenal season, and Bo Nix was leading them to what could have been another Super Bowl for the Denver Broncos. But last week, Bo Nix, 26 for 46, 3 TDs, 1 interception. They outdueled the Buffalo Bills with a late field goal in overtime to get the job done. Once again, Josh Allen in the playoffs. No big three in there, and he can't get it done. I think this might be the end for the Buffalo Bills and their possibility to winning a Super Bowl anytime. I think they are they're chalked, they're done, and I don't see them even getting close in the near future. But for today's game, Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. New England is -3.5. The game did open up at 4.5. So it has come down a little bit. I think this is a trap game. I know New England's going for it all. They're riding high. I just don't see Denver Broncos doing anything with Jarrett Stidham. To be honest, the dude has played one snap this year. It was under center for a QB kneel. I know he's been getting some second-team reps and first-team reps all this week, but I just don't see a guy not playing all year long coming in the AFC title game and doing anything worth a damn. But that's just me. You never know. Storylines are storylines. But he is playing his old team in the New England Patriots. He has seen what they've done before. The last time he played with them was back in 2020. And you can see what he did. He played. He was 1-4 as a starter. Didn't do that well, but I mean the competition that he played all the top teams. But when you see what he done, only mustered up 9 points, 3 points. He played the Chargers back then. They wasn't really that great. Put up 45, but then he put up 6 and 10 against two teams that, I mean, you know who they were back then. So, if you're telling me that Jarrett Stidham's going to keep this game close for the Broncos to even have a chance, you're out of your mind. So, give me the New England Patriots. I like them to win the game. You can get them at -205 on the money line. I actually like them -3.5. I would even take them up to even a touchdown. I think this team is just rolling right now. Drake May still in the conversation for MVP. Had a phenomenal season so far, so I do believe Drake May and this New England Patriots team get the job done and roll past Denver and make it to another Super Bowl. A couple props to look out for. Jarrett Stidham's over-under passing yards at 208.5. Like I said, he hasn't played all season but one snap. I know they're going to be trailing. I think they're going to just try to run the ball, keep the ball out of his hands, just let him not lose them the game. So for that reason, under 208.5 passing yards, I think that's a solid, firm pick. And if we're going on that same route of him not getting those passing yards, give me Pat Bryant under 34.5. Yes, I know he's been averaging around 35 to 40 yards in the past couple weeks, but I just think as a backup QB, you're going to be looking for your number one guy, which is Cortland Sutton. And even though they might be doubling him, Pat Bryant could be getting open. I just don't think that Jarrett Stidham is going to have enough time back there. He's going to be processing the things a lot faster than usual. So I like the under here for Pat Bryant. I know he's had 42, 32, 42, 31, 32, which is right around that line, which is a pretty good line. But give me Pat Bryant under 34.5, just on the same line there as Jarrett Stidham for the under. And also, I'm going to do R.J. Harvey under 21.5 receiving yards as well. I like that a lot. We have seen that he's been catching the ball a lot out of the backfield, but that was also with Bo Nix. Bo Nix likes to scramble around, make plays happen with his legs. But today, there isn't going to be a lot of scrambling around. And I think he's just going to hand the ball off. I think R.J. Harvey's going to have his rushing yards. But for receiving yards, just go ahead and give me the under there. You see he had 4 catches for 71. He had one big one for 32, which got him over that 20-yard mark. He's had a couple big ones. You never know. He could break a big one just in a late-game scenario, some checkdowns. But I think they're going to just hand him the ball and just try not to have Jarrett Stidham losing the game and make their defense work a little bit extra harder to try to keep them in and maybe somehow pull this one out. I don't see it happening, but this is just my predictions. I do think New England rolls. And since New England's going to be winning in this game, give me Travion Henderson over 33.5 rushing yards. They are a two-headed backfield with him and losing my train of thought here. Ramondre Stevenson, which we all know Ramondre Stevenson had a huge game last week. And Henderson only had 25 yards, but that comes with Ramondre Stevenson going for 70 yards against a good Houston Texans team. So I do think they're going to split the time a little bit more this week. Stevenson had 16 carries to Travion's 12. I think it's going to be roughly about the same, but they are going to be winning a lot more in this game from the start. So I expect to see a little bit more ground and pound from New England's side. So, yeah, give me Travion Henderson over 33.5 for this game. So that'll be my 5 picks. I like the Patriots money line, ain't even at minus 3.5. Jarrett Stidham under 208.5 passing yards. Pat Bryant and R.J. Harvey under their receiving yards. And then Travion Henderson over 33.5 rushing yards. Then moving on into the Seattle and L.A. Rams. This game is at 6:30. This is going to be the third time these two teams are playing against each other. Should be an absolute banger. Obviously, the first time that these two teams played, the Rams won at home by 2. And then the second time they played, the Rams were winning the entire game. Seattle stormed back in the fourth quarter, tied it up, and then in OT they scored late, went for 2, won the game. The game could have went either way. But the Rams have basically had their number in both of these games. The first game was kind of boring in my opinion, but the second one, when Seattle roared back, was just an absolute great game. But we all know how Sam Darnold is in big games. He doesn't perform well. I don't look for him to perform well this game either. This game is much bigger than he's ever been in. The first time that they met, he had a lot of yards, but he had 4 interceptions. It's a big concern. When you're turning the ball over 4 times, it's not good for your offense. You lost the game by 2 points, and you had 4 interceptions. To me, I just think that was a lack of Matt Stafford and the Rams not being able to put the ball in the end zone and capitalizing when they got those turnovers. So I believe that this game should have been like 35 to 19. They should have had probably 3 more touchdowns on top of what they had. And that game could have got ugly quick. But the second time they played, yeah, he had 2 touchdowns, but look, Also, another 2 interceptions on the day. How they roared back and won that one, I have no idea. I also think that was just careless by Matt Stafford and the boys. Matt Stafford did play good. He had 457 yards, 3 touchdowns. You can't knock him for that. I just don't think they ran the ball that well. They were just slinging it all over the place. When they got the ball, they just wanted to pass. And when you pass a lot and you throw incompletions 20 times, you're going to stop the clock. When you're up by 16 points, give Kyron Williams or Blake Corum the ball. Just plain and simple. Got to chew that clock up when you're up that many. And you got to win these type of games. You can't let it get out of hand and go into OT and then let your team give up a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. But today at 6:30, it is back at Seattle. Seattle is favored by 2.5, over under at 45.5. I actually like the Rams to win this game. They are at plus 120. It's just been the Matt Stafford show all year. This guy is either going to be first or second in the MVP voting. Almost 5,000 yards, 46 touchdowns. He's just had a phenomenal season. So on that same path, I'm going to take the over on Matt Stafford's passing yards at 256.5. On the flip side, with Seattle, Kenneth Walker has pretty much been their main man with JSN. Kenneth Walker, just great season as well. Running the ball, catching the ball. The past couple games, he has had a little bit more in the passing game. 36, 29, 64 were his big games there. He's seeing a little bit more in that area because they have been trailing. So rushing and receiving yards for Kenneth Walker set at 107.5. I like the over in that. In both games previous to that, he went over 67 yards rushing with 44 receiving. That puts you at 111, which is the over. And in the second game, he had 100 yards rushing with 64 receiving, 164. That is also way over. So 2 out of 2 the past 2 games that they have played, he's went over that number. Give me the over again. And the last but not least, Kyron Williams over 52.5 rushing yards the first time that they played. He had 91 yards and a touchdown. And the second time that they played, he had 70 yards. Blake Corum had the touchdown. The Seattle defense does give up some rushing yards, so I do look for them to run the ball to start a little bit this time. We all know Matt Stafford's going to get his, and Puka's going to get his. But for the Rams to win this game, they have to get Kyron Williams going. So give me over 52.5 for Kyron Williams. Should be good day, up and down, from 3 o'clock till about 8 o'clock. We'll know sometime tonight which 2 teams are making it to the Super Bowl out in L.A. But just my prediction, New England and the Rams. I look to see the Rams winning it all in the Super Bowl, getting Matt Stafford an MVP and getting a Super Bowl MVP. And who knows, he might retire off into the sunset and call it a career. But until next time, before we go, you know where to follow us on all socials, TikTok, Facebook. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Help us out, completely free. And also, before you guys go, use my code TOPSHELF1. Get 10% off of your next purchase. Helps you out, helps me out. And we'll see you on the next one.